Welcome back to If You Give a Librarian a Book. I like to read the traditional fairy tales, and so the one that I have chosen today is one that everybody knows called The Three Little Pigs. This fairy tale is thousands of years old. It's been retold hundreds and hundreds of times in many different languages, but this particular story, which is a book you may check out at the Allegheny Highlands Regional Library, is The Three Little Pigs. The author is James Marshall, and he is also the illustrator. So that means that he retold the story and he also drew the pictures. That's the author and the illustrator. The Three Little Pigs. Fairy tales always begin the same way, once upon a time. Once upon a time, a mother pig sent her three little pigs out into the world to seek their fortune. "Goodbye," she waved. "Be sure to write, and remember I love you. And watch out for strangers." The first little pig went on his way. He met a man with a load of straw. "I know," said the little pig. "I'll buy your straw and I'll build myself a house." "That's not a good idea," said the man. "Mind your own business, thank you," said the first little pig. And he bought the straw and he set about building a house. It took him no time at all. Very soon, a lean and hungry wolf happened by. Now, pig was just about his favorite food in the whole wide world. So he knocked on the door, and he said, little pig, let me come in." And the little pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I won't let you in." This annoyed the wolf to no end, and he said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." "Go right ahead," said the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the little pig. The second little pig met a man with a load of sticks. "I've got it," said the little pig. "I'll buy those sticks and build a house." "I'd think twice about that," said the man. "Oh, pooh," said the little pig. "What would you know?" And he bought the sticks and he went to work building a house. "Very pretty," he said. No sooner had the little pig settled into his pretty house than the wolf happened by. He was still hungry and he still liked pig. And he said, little pig, let me come in." And the little pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I won't let you in." The wolf didn't care for that at all, so he said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." "Ha, ha, ha," laughed the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the second little pig. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. "These bricks would make a fine, sturdy house," said the man. "Capital idea, my good fella," said the little pig. So he bought the bricks and he set about building a house. It took him quite a long time, but it was well worth it. "Nice and solid," said the little pig. "This is a nice and solid house." But no sooner had the little pig moved in than he noticed the hungry wolf loitering about. And the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in." To which the little pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I won't let you in." Well, the wolf had heard that one before, and so he said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." "Oh, don't do that," said the little pig. So the wolf huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, until he was quite blue in the face. The house stood firm. "I'll try another approach," muttered the wolf. So he put on his most dazzling smile. "Little pig, I was only teasing," he smiled. "By the way, I hear that Farmer Jones has the most scrumptious turnips. Shall we go pick a few?" "Oh, I'm much too busy now," said the little pig. "How about going tomorrow morning?" "Excellent," said the wolf. "I'll come for you at 6 o'clock. The next morning, the little pig got up at 5 o'clock. He hurried off to Farmer Jones's turnip field. He picked a basket full of those scrumptious turnips, and he dashed back home. When the wolf arrived at 6, the turnips were already boiling in the pot. "Sorry I couldn't wait," said the little pig. The wolf tried not to be angry. "No harm done," he said. "By the way, there's a lovely apple tree down in Merry Meadow. Shall we go help ourselves to a few apples?" "I must cook my turnips now," said the little pig. "Let's meet there tomorrow morning." "Splendid," said the wolf. "Shall we say we'll meet at 5 o'clock?" The next morning, the little pig was up at 4 o'clock, and he went for the apples. It took longer than he expected to reach Merry Meadow. While he was busy gathering apples in the highest tree, he saw the wolf coming. "Do try one of these apples," he called down, throwing the apple as far as he could. When the wolf chased after the apple, the little pig shimmied down the tree, and he made it safely home. The next day, the wolf came back again. This time he was really quite put out. "Little pig," he called, "there's a fair today at Hog Hill. Would you care to go with me?" "Why don't we meet there?" said the little pig. "Would 3 o'clock suit you?" "Colossal," said the wolf. 3 it is. And just to make sure he caught the little pig, he was going to be there at 2. But at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the little pig went to the fair, and he had a fine time. So fine that he lost track of time. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the wolf coming up the hill. Without a minute to spare, the little pig jumped inside an empty butter churn, and he rolled down the hill toward the wolf. Well, that old wolf was so scared, he ran all the way home with the butter churn and the little pig behind him. That evening, the wolf went to the little pig's house, and he told him how frightened he'd been of this great round thing that came rolling down the hill after him. "Ha! Frightened you, did I?" said the little pig. "That great round thing was a butter churn, and I was inside." Now this was simply too much for the wolf to stand. "I've been nice long enough," he cried. "I'm going to eat you right now." And he climbed up on the roof. When the little pig saw the wolf on the roof, standing at the chimney, he put a big iron pot on his fireplace, and he quickly stoked up the fire as hot as he could make it. "Here I come," cried the wolf, jumping down the chimney. "Dinner time." "You can say that again," said the little pig, and he caught the wolf, and he cooked that mean old wolf, and he gobbled him up. And that little pig lived happily ever after. Now, for a craft to go with the 3 little pigs, we're going to make finger puppets. And these are very simple. We'll have a link for you parents to download the finger puppets. It's just 1 page, and you have the 3 little pigs. This little pig has the wood. This little pig has the straw. This little pig has the bricks. And then, of course, here's the big bad wolf. And it's very simple to do. You just download it, have your children color it with crayons, pencils, colored pencils, markers, whatever you wish. And then they will need to cut them out. And this may be, if your children are young, you may need to help some. But the scissors, you just cut around the dotted lines. And especially if you're working with younger children, especially this one where the dotted lines are very close together, parents, you may want to help your children with that. So you cut the finger puppets out on the dotted lines, and when you get finished, they will look like, and I've already glued them together and I shouldn't have. They'll look like this, and then you take the ends and you just roll them around and you glue them on the back. You may use just white glue, but it takes a little while for that to dry and you have to hold it. I found that a glue stick works fine for this project if you just glue it there and hold it for a minute so that the glue sets. And then you have the little pig with, this is the straw. Here's the little pig with the wood. And here's the little pig with the bricks. And you can retell the 3 little pigs story. And this is a good strategy to help children prepare for learning to read. And then, of course, the big bad wolf needs to go on the other side. So when the big bad wolf shows up at the first little pig's house and says, little pig, let me in." And the little pig will say, "Not by the hair of my," I can't move that finger very well, sorry. "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, I won't let you in." Then I'll huff, and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. So you can have your child retell the Three Little Pigs, and again, this is an excellent early learning, early literacy strategy to teach them to read. I hope you enjoy.